For those of you that haven't or don't know who I'm going to introduce you to now, it's Paul Nicol. Paul Nicol, welcome back to
How are you?
For Kettering Town. Paul, of course, played for Kettering under Peter Morris in 1991, and then went on to be under Graham Carr. You came from Scunthorpe United.
Indeed, yes, I did.
And you're here with the sponsors today.
I've just seen my old gaffer in the bar.
Right.
Peter Morris is sitting there he's in the bar, so we've had a little reminisce about the old days. Yeah, really good.
The old days are really good, Paul. You, in fact, as I say, signed for us in the 1991 close season from Scunthorpe United and made an instant impact along with Trevor Slack as a great central pairing.
I've got great memories, really great memories of the club. Great times. We had a fantastic team. You think about some of the players that we had. Andy Hunt, Richard Huxford, Ian Phillips, Paul Bancroft, Paul Bastock, the goalkeeper, who's still playing, still going
strong. I think now.
He must be. He must be a little bit younger than me. He has to be. But fantastic times and a great team.
Of course, you were in the side that went to Blackburn Rovers, and
I was,
that fantastic game there at Ewood Park just before all the multi-millions were spent by Jack Walker. But that was a fantastic experience, I suppose, for yourself and the fans that watched it, and it's still a legendary game within Kettering Town's history.
I think the amount of supporters we took to Ewood Park was stunning. I mean, as we ran out, the whole end was filled with Kettering Town supporters. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. All my family turned up. My dad, my mum, my sister was there. Loads of friends were in there. And my big memory of the game was as we walked off the pitch at the end was Kenny Dalgleish shook everybody's hand, every single player's hand. And I just thought that was a really nice thing for him to do. But great day out. 4-1. I mean, disappointing that we lost, but
they got from Brandy though, wasn't it?
I mean, they were on the way up. I mean, they had good play. Mike Newell up front, David Speedy up front. They had some Gordon. I remember Gordon Cowan placed one from about 25 yards in the top corner, and superb goal. So you sometimes you just got to appreciate those things, and but brilliant they are.
If I remember correctly, though, old Slacky could have made it 1-0 for Kettering very early on from a corner, and was well saved by the goalkeeper.
Your memory is better than mine, because I can't remember that. It probably would be, yeah. But he was. I mean, I love. And you know what? It's funny when you're centre half and you that partnership at the back. And it was interesting that Trevor and I came down. I'd been on holiday to Mexico, and I came back, and I'd been released from Scunthorpe, and I didn't have a club to go to, and I'd been to a couple of trials, and then I got a phone call from Peter Morris, who said we've got a friendly on Saturday, and I turned up and I was completely out of shape. I'd had 3 weeks in Mexico, and I felt terrible, looked terrible. I looked good. I was tanned and all that, and we played. Trevor and I played together. First time, never met the guy ever before in my life. And you know what? You just have that connection with some people, and we absolutely hit it off, and we just seemed to know where each other were. And I remember at the end, the gaffer pointed at Trevor and he said, what do you think? And I was sort of looking out the corner of my eye. He said, what do you think? And Trevor went like that. And you know what? And that was it. He was done. And Trevor and I got on famously well. And he was great fella, great centre half, great, really, I mean, good, strong in the air, brave. But like I say, we worked really well together. It was a really good partnership.
139 appearances and 3 goals for the club, and some England performances as well with Kettering. One of the goals against Boston United, a team that you later went on to play for under Peter Morris when you left Kettering. But the thing I want to really mention to you, really, Paul, is that important day on the 15th of September 1992 away at Telford United during the Mark English, Dave Cusack fiasco, when you were instrumental as captain to actually keep Kettering Town alive by persuading the players to play that game. Because of the insurance hadn't been paid. That must have been very, very difficult. In fact, the club secretary at the time, Jerry Knowles, asked me to play. I'd only had 5 pints in the You'd
have been fine with 5. You'd have been all right with 5.
But that must have been a very difficult evening for you.
It was a. It was. I mean, the administrator had sort of come in just before that. Some of the players chose to leave, which was a real shame. And I made a few phone calls, and we managed to get a team together. I seem to remember having 2 goalkeepers. We had a goalkeeper on the pitch and a goalkeeper on the bench, but that might not be quite right. I thought it was thought it was Bastock or Kevin Blackwell. It might have been Kevin Blackwell. It might have been. But yeah, we managed to scrape together a team. I remember going on the bus, and as we were on the bus, we were told that we weren't insured. So
nice.
It was one of Irving Gurnan, bless him, who played for Ipswich and came to Kettering, great player. I remember him getting kicked, and rather than standing up and probably threatening the bloke that has kicked you, he stood up and went, "That's right," he says, "kick me when I'm not insured," which went down well with the opposing fans. But you know what? 1-1. We got a point out of it. I think
lost 3-1.
Oh, we lost 3-1. We did it. I thought
yeah.
In my mind we'd won 1-1
at one point.
Oh, was it? All right. Okay. Well, there you go. But you know what? We got a team out, and I think that was the main thing that night. Really.
It must be difficult with Mark. I mean, I was there obviously at those games, as a lot of the fans were, supporting the club, trying to keep the club alive. But when the news broke that the club was so much in debt, and eventually Peter Morris left, Graham Carr came in, it upset the team, didn't it, quite a bit? And eventually you did go on to Boston under Peter Morris when he left Kettering Town. That was,
I have to say, probably that was the end for me in terms of the Kettering. I mean, I'd love my time here, absolutely love my time, and I love playing for the club. I love playing for Peter. He wanted to play. He wanted to play the game in the right way, which had been the way I'd been brought up. And then him leaving, and suddenly the style of football changed. And bearing in mind, I was living in Scunthorpe at the time, so it was 130 miles to drive down here, 130 miles to drive home. It's a 206-mile round trip, and I'd turn up on a Tuesday night. We'd run around the pitch for an hour and a half. And you think, well, you know what? I maybe could do this at home. I don't need to drive 260 miles to do this. And the soul kind of fell out of the club for me a little bit. And then I got an injury. I think we were playing Boston, and fell awkwardly and managed to break the backbone in my leg. I played the second half. I knew something was wrong. I went in to see the physio. The physio said, "Oh, I think can you run?" I said, "Yeah, I think it will be all right." So I played the second half. And then drove back to Scunthorpe, and I was sitting in Scunthorpe, and I sort of went to bed, and I thought, there's something not right. Anyway, took myself off to A&E and found out I broke my leg. And so and then I rang up and I sort of said, look, I've now got my leg in plaster. And and that was kind of, at that point, Graham came in. I wasn't there for, I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks. And then, obviously you need to get back in shape after you've been out for such a long time. And it was kind of, that was probably the time.
After Boston, what happened? Because I sort of lost track of you after Boston. Is it?
No, after Boston I broke my leg again. I broke the other leg. So I broke my left leg at Kettering, and then I managed to break my right leg for playing for Boston on a very cold night in Holbeach, I think it was, Wisbech, I think, of all places. And I broke it in 6 places. And that was it. Unfortunately, that was my that was me done. And I had to have metal work put in my leg, and then that was in there for 18 months. So I was sort of 4 weeks in pot, and then they decided that it wasn't mending, it wasn't coming together. So then I put the metal work in, and then that was 18 months. So you can't play. You couldn't doze. I think the medical science has moved on.
And at that point, Bolton, wasn't it, as opposed to Barney?
It was a little bit of sort of hammering. I used to look at it in the morning and think, oh my god, yeah, sponge will do you well.
Did you follow Kettering results after that at all?
I do. I still do. I still look for the support I look for Scunthorpe United's results and I look for Kettering's results. So
quite a change you see where we are now to where we were since your days. It must be quite sad for you to see the position that Kettering are in.
Heartbreaking. I mean, I've just gone up to the Rockingham Road. I've just been up there and just had a little walk around the outside of the ground, and I have to say it's heartbreaking.
The council have refused us another attempt to make Rockingham Road our home as well, which is very disappointing. But there we go.
You remember the great times. You remember, I mean, the pitch. I've managed to climb up some stairs today and look over, and I've actually took a photo on my phone, and I mean the pitch is just it's 6 foot in grass, and it's just an absolute crying shame. Kettering's a great club. And I absolutely love my time here, and you know what, you don't wish any harm.
Thank you, Paul. Great to have you here. Hope you enjoy the afternoon with the sponsors and enjoy the game, and hopefully might see you after the game in the bar for a swift Lucasade, as we all have here in the media team. But have a great to see you, and thank you for coming on. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Paul Nicol, ex-Kettering Town captain from the 1990, 91, 92 era. great ambassador of the club who played for England, and the thoughts there of Paul, interesting to hear, wasn't it?
Definitely.